Hello, my name's Jason and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. It's called I Have a Story. I named it I Have a Story because we all have a story and some people need help writing theirs, and that's what this channel's about. People helping people. Seems to be so much going on in the world today that seems like the little people have been forgotten about. People like you and me. Country's spending so much money in other countries and we're not even taking care of our own people, which is terrible. And that should be the number one goal of our politicians, is to take care of our people before we take care of everybody else. So this is a channel about people helping people. There's a lot of ways we can help each other as a community. We can simply just talk, and some people, that's all they need. They need somebody to talk to, somebody to get their story out of their system and free themselves inside. A lot of people don't have anybody to talk to, and keeping that inside really can rot and sour your soul. So that's one of the simple ways we can help each other, is just simply to have somebody to talk to. Other ways we can help each other is possibly, and I have dreams with this channel. Hopefully I could get businesses involved and help people with, say, medical supplies, and people who can't afford medical supplies, or even as a community out there, get in touch with one another, and maybe somebody has a hospital bed or a wheelchair, or even just simply crutches that they could donate to people in need. And maybe as a community, if people can't afford to ship those, we could raise the money and help ship those, and get people the supplies that they need. Other ways we could help each other, I can share ways that how we save money. I mean, today money has become really tight for a lot of people, and I know a lot of ways that I save money, and I could share with you, and then as a community we could share with one another and help each other save money. I've had cashiers at grocery stores comment about how well I shop and how good I do as far as saving money and eating healthy and taking care of my family the way I do. One of my big dreams with this channel, I mean, it really is a dream. Some people just need a vacation, a break, a getaway, a break from their normal life in society. I live in one of the most beautiful places I could ever imagine living, surrounded by just crystal clear, just beautiful waters and waterfalls and beaches and nature that's just gorgeous. One of my dreams is, and hopefully we can do this, I'd like to build a simple cabin in my backyard. There's a beautiful wildflower meadow in my backyard, and as a community raise money for people who can't even afford a simple vacation, and bring them here. And as a community we could pitch in, raise money for, travel expenses to get people here, and raise money for the food, and I will cook for them and show them the sights and scenes, give them time to go and be by themselves, and we could really do some beautiful things together here. That's my big dream with this channel. I've helped people a lot in my life just simply talking to them. For example, this past summer I've been taking care of one of my elderly neighbors. She has cancer, she has no family, nobody to help her and take care of her. When she gets sick, I've stayed at her house for several days at a time and been there to take care of her and help her get through those tough times where she couldn't take care of herself. Over the summer, the past summer, I took her to the hospital. She was really, really bad, and when the doctors took her into the back, they told me I had to wait in the waiting room while they did blood work and testing and whatnot. And while I was sitting in the waiting room, the doctor came out with a patient, and the woman was just crying and panicking and really upset. And I sat and watched for a minute, and the doctor tried to calm her down, and so I stepped in and I started talking to her. I said, "Ma'am, can I talk to you?" And obviously she was taken back by that. That's definitely one way to get somebody's attention. I talked to her for a minute, caught her calmed down. I told the doctor, "You can go back to work, I have this and I'll take care of her." And I walked her out to her car and talked to her, and she told me what she was going through and experiencing. She was born and raised here and moved to Alaska, and found out she has MS, and came back here to have testing done and find out how bad her condition is. And she wanted to be around her family in case she needed support and help, which is completely understandable. I told her about what I was currently going through and explained some of my story, and when I was done, she was smiling, she hugged me, she gave me a kiss on the cheek, and she thanked me for making her day. She said that she was supposed to take her niece and nephew to a beach that day, and she was feeling like she wasn't going to be able to do it until she talked to me, and she thanked me just graciously that I was able to settle her down and allow her to have a day with her niece and nephew and enjoy the day instead of living in the fear and sadness that she was living in. Sometimes it's that simple. I've done that several times in my life. 2019, I was going through a rough time, and I'm going to be explaining this through my stories. I met a woman in a Sterling's carryout. I could see the sadness in her, and I'm one that sometimes I see it and I can't look away. I don't know if everybody sees the things that I do, or I'm just have a gift at it. But I definitely have a gift at talking to people. So I approached her and I started talking to her and made just simple small talk conversation. Found out she had stage 3 breast cancer, and she was there to get a bottle of booze to drink away her problems. I told her again my story of what I was currently going through at the time, and by the time I was done, she was hugging me. She was in tears thanking me that she didn't feel so bad about what she was suffering from. Kind of makes me question about my life sometimes. But I will share with you the ways that I've turned my negatives into positives, and I have a lifelong history of really severe cases. I was born and raised with an alcoholic, very abusive father. My parents beat my brother and I with blunt objects our entire childhood. I now suffer severe organ damage because of that. I also have severe damage to my body where I was kidnapped, tortured, and beaten for what was estimated to be 7.5 hours. Had my ear cut off my head, my throat slit, and my body left for dead. Somehow the good Lord picked me up and I walked for help after I gained consciousness, and I lived. That all happened trying to protect a woman and a child, which I've done a lot of in my life, more so than anybody I know. Put myself and almost lost my life and put myself in positions that nobody else really would have. There's a lot I have to talk about. I have experienced so much in my life, and I want to use those experiences to help other people and try to even become a better person myself. And some of the things I've seen in my lifetime, a lot of people will question it, and I've seen several counselors over my life over these several years, and they question it until I bring them the proof. And I have a lot of proof, an absolute lot of proof to prove my story. And once I was able to prove what I could prove, which is the majority of my story, nobody questioned it anymore. So I'm going to bring you the proof and the evidence of what I have to say, as well as my story. I've seen so much in my life that I want to share with you. What I've seen in my lifetime of what I believe is falsifying water testing. I don't see it any other way. I was actually one of the whistleblowers and probably one of the first on the Detroit and Flint water crisis. I sat in federal buildings and state buildings down in Detroit and said, hey, this isn't right. I know what I'm seeing and this isn't right. And they yelled at me, told me to get out of their office. They know what they're doing. Come to find out they didn't, and I was right. I will also tell you how they're falsifying the water testing. I have no doubt about it. And if you've ever bought a house from a realtor and they provided water testing and claimed the water was clear, I'll tell you it's not. Go and test it yourself, and I will tell you why and how. I want to look out for people. That's what we're supposed to do as human beings. We look out for one another and we take care of one another, and that seems to get lost really terribly deeply in this country. People become selfish and it's all about me, myself, and I. Not even about your kids anymore. Jesus, I've met so many people. They look at what's going on in the world and say, I don't care, I'm old enough. I've lived a long enough life. If I die tomorrow, I lived. What about your children? What about your grandkids? What about their future? That's one of my biggest heartfelt problems with what's going on in the world today. I've lived long enough. I've lived a just tremendous life. When you hear my story, you won't believe it. But I'm here for the children. My kids, your kids, all the kids out there. I'm here to talk about how they've been done terribly wrong in so many systems and speak out against these systems. I'm not only here just to talk. I want to be here to make a difference. I want you to follow me along my journey as I make calls, as I try to confront people and change this. There's a lot of channels out there that spread awareness and talk, which is great. I'm tired of hearing it. What do we do to make a difference? Well, very simply, first step is we can help each other. We take care of each other like we used to. It's wonderful that people have become self-sufficient the way they have as the way things were 100 years ago, but at the same time it's made people selfish and distant from one another. So I'm here to bring people back together, work together, help each other, help people in need. I'm here also to talk an awful lot about men's rights, because as a man, my rights have been terribly, terribly, terribly violated. My children have been abused, drugged. Terrible things have happened, and I'm here first and foremost to fight for my children and my rights as a father. And I'm not here just to talk about men's rights, although I am a man and I'm going to tell you from my side of the story, from what I've experienced, but I'm also here to talk about women's rights. I've watched women's rights be violated. And in the end, it's always, always affected the children in a very negative way. And when it comes down to it, that's what my number one goal is to protect the children. That should be what everybody's goal is, and that's what these systems should be doing, but they're not. I want to know why. I want to put an end to that. If you have a job where you're supposed to be protecting children, then do it. Don't just listen to the story, wash your hands, I'm done, bye-bye. I don't understand it, and I don't understand how we got this bad. So, I'm here to make a difference, and I'm hoping you will join me on this mission to make a difference in this world, to help people in need, even help you if you're in need. Right now, I'm in desperate need, and I am in a terrible position, and I'm going to share my story with you, and I hope and I pray that you will help me and follow me along my journey as to try to get my rights, my children back, to save them from the terrible situation that they are in. I need help getting back on my feet, and I need to save my kids. But it's not just about me, it's about the world and how terrible it is, and I'm tired of hearing systems are broken. What do we do to fix them? So many people talk about how do children eat Tide Pods. How could they not know any better? Honestly, as adults, what I'm seeing going on in this world is absolutely no different. It's just as bad and just as common sense to not do the things that are happening. For example, I had a friend, had a 13-year-old daughter who was raped at her dad's house. She was a sweet girl, very sweet girl. She tested positive on the rape test at the hospital. Mom did not want her daughter obviously going back to her dad's house, and nor did daughter want to go back to her dad's, well, apartment, I shouldn't say house. Obviously, I mean, who would want a child to go back to that situation? But you know what? The courts made her. So what did mom do? Mom called up dad, said, hey, I'm taking our daughter and I'm moving to Colorado. I'll drop child support. You won't have to be obligated to anything if you allow me to take our daughter. And he said, what? No more child support? I don't have to pay nothing? Take her, go. I can't even put into words how terrible that is to be a parent to treat your kid like that. So I want to be here to make a difference and put an end to this. Our kids deserve better than that. Our kids are going to keep doing things like eating Tide Pods because, well, when they're raised in an environment that they absorb and take in and feel and learn from, because that's what children learn from. They learn from what they see around them. And they're seeing nothing but chaos and trouble and just terrible things. Well, it doesn't make any common sense. It doesn't take much common sense to say, let's stop treating our kids this way. So I'm here to share my story and make a difference for our children, for you and me, for our future, for our country. Our country is just in shambles right now. We seem to have politicians that want to spread money throughout the whole entire world, but we can't take care of the people in our own country. You know, I totally understand the upset of the people in Ohio who, the train derailment, and how professionals thought it was a good idea to burn those chemicals. I mean, I've been trained in first response hazardous containment and second response hazardous cleanup. Never have we ever been where we taught to burn the chemicals. There are ways you actually treat that. You contain the spread of it by putting out, depending on the chemical, and there's different chemicals that require different needs. You put out bags and contain it, You bring in vacuums, you suck it up, and you remove the dirt and replace it. You don't burn it. Never have we ever been taught to burn it. That doesn't even take common sense. I mean, Jesus, you and I should, people out there who've never been trained on this should know that that's just common sense. We don't burn chemicals and pollute our environment. But they did it anyways. And it makes me question how these people are the ones running our country. Simple common sense. I mean, that's common sense. You don't burn huge quantities of toxic chemicals and pollute the whole entire environment. That's just common sense, right? So what do we do to change this? Now, I wish I had this channel going and grew big enough to where when that happened, we could be helping those people in Ohio. Donate money, donate needs, whatever needs to be, we can do as a community to help those people. That's my goal here. I came up with this idea for this channel about 3 years ago. I was told, and I sat down, I had a counselor, and I was told that I'm very good at talking to people, and I'm very good at letting, I don't know, people just open up to me. So it was recommended even by my counselors that I do this, and I've been waiting because I'm going to be talking against some very high-powered people who can really hurt me and take away my freedoms and my life. I can't wait anymore. These people have done us horrible and terribly wrong, and I'm here to speak out against it and try to fight for everybody's rights. Because it's terrible what these people have done. So I'm going to ask you to join me on my journey. Please subscribe to my channel so I can start earning a living. I need money, and I need to start earning a living. I have severe health conditions that I'm going to share with you, from not only the abuse I suffered from as from my parents, but what I suffer from the assault that took place on me, where I was beaten with blunt objects and tortured for what was estimated to be 7.5 hours. I am currently asking for donations, but I pray to God that I can prove myself to you that I'm worthy to have this channel and help others and earn the living that I deserve. I'd much rather just earn it than ask for handouts, and I've never asked for handouts in my life. But if you'll help me get back on my feet, I promise you, I will make this channel about helping others. I think together as a community of people we can do that, and I don't think it's very difficult at all. I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to build this cabin. I'm willing to bring people here. I'm willing to cook them meals. I'm willing to take them out and see the sights and the scenes here. I mean, there's beautiful waterfalls. 10 minutes from my house, there's islands that you can drive across bridges, and deer will come right up to your car and feed them through the window, and open your doors and just feed them right out of your hand. My children loved it. It's beautiful. I will take people and give them tours and take them out and give them the freedom that they need to relax and have a peace of mind. It's not that difficult. And if you will support me, I will do this for other people. There's no better way to earn a living than helping others. I would love it. So I'm praying that you will help me, and I'm asking you will help me. Please listen to my story. Please subscribe to my channel. I need subscriptions so I can start getting monetized and earn money. I know when you hear my story, you're not going to believe it. But again, when I bring the proof and the evidence, you're not going to be able to deny it. I'm going to tell you how I fought through all this and even hurt myself and damaged my body even more because of simple pride. I refused to give up even when that assault took place. My doctor's telling me, you need to stop working. You need to file for disability. You need to quit hurting yourself. And I refused to for a long time. And now I suffer even more because I was too proud. And it's great to have pride, but you can't only take it so far. I've really learned a lot of lessons in my life that I want to share with you. Mistakes I've made that hopefully I can share with you and keep you from making those same mistakes, and get myself back on my feet, help other people get back on their feet. Please God, please help me raise the money to fight for my kids on a system that has just been absolutely horrendous. So please join me on my journey. I will take you every step of the way. Even if I can get to the point where I can raise enough money, I have the manpower. There are plenty of people that will help me physically build it, and it's not going to take a lot of money to build. It's going to be a simple cabin. But I will put in the work and I will do it, and it's a very easy way to just help others. So I ask you, please join me on my journey. Please subscribe to my channel, listen to my story, share my channel with others, and please forgive me for my hair. I'm trying to grow my hair out and it gets kind of wild. So please join me on my adventures and let's help other people. Thank you, and you have a good afternoon.